a good night's rest. So, today we're going to talk about accountability essentially. I'm probably going to be all over the place as usual when I'm channeling. So, we're probably not going to use any cards until the end, maybe for validation, which is also the thing we're going to be talking about today. So, I guess I'm going to be using myself as an example here. So, recently I've been in a little bit of a stuck energy, just anxious and worried, okay? And I know I'm not the only one. Everything was going well, smooth, confident, doing the work or whatever. Um, and then all of a sudden, my energy just kind of dropped. And I couldn't really explain it. And I wasn't necessarily in a bad place, but I just felt off a little bit. But things kind of went downhill a little bit for about a week. It went a little deeper. So I began to watch some tarot, and that's when things really went downhill. Because, in my opinion, in my observation of my own personal experience, and even previously, we are, well, I was looking for something to make me feel better or something to kind of give me clarity, essentially. At first, I wanted some clarity, and then I wanted to feel better. Okay, so bear with me, y'all, because I'm trying to get this out as clear as possible. Now, I was worried based off of the way I was feeling. Well, I was concerned based off of the way I was feeling. Then I was worried based off of the readings that I was looking at. Now, this is not anything towards the readers or anything like that. And that is one of my points here. I was looking for something outside of myself to blame things on or blame this feeling on. Well, and not necessarily anything negative. I'm like, okay, this is the ascension process, which in essence it is. It's different stages, of course, and different things that intertwine within an ascension. So that could be remembering old things or old folks coming back into your life and challenging things that you thought you've overcame and such, right? Now, something I noticed when I'm watching these readings, and again, nothing towards the readers, they're just reading what they see here or whatever. But it's always, these titles are always about somebody outside of ourselves doing something, whether it's positive or negative. I've been seeing a lot of negative titles and heavy energy titles and heavy energy readings lately. And it is what it is. Like, that's what the reader sees, I guess. But so I'm looking at these readings. I'm looking for an what's the word I'm trying to use here? An explanation, positive or negative perception, right? I'm looking for an explanation here outside of myself, whether it be somebody, whether it be divine intervention or whatever. But you know, I'm not really focusing where I need to be focusing, which is within. And I know this, right? But that's just that lesson that I need to learn. Again, using myself as an example. For, at least my perception, and this may not be true because completely true. It's my truth, but it may not be completely truth in a realm of what really happened or what, you know. So, one of my biggest challenges, one of my lessons for this lifetime has been to not seek outside validation. I've always felt like I've always been overlooked, the underdog, or at least my adult life. In childhood too, but more so adult life, I felt that way. And that's really me just projecting and in reality showing up um, for me the way that I felt about myself. So my confidence wasn't as high. I'm going into adulthood. Of course, we got more challenges to face and therefore some failures and perceived failures, but still learning nonetheless, right? But yeah, so for a long time, I looked outside of myself for validation, whether that be through relationships, whether that be through even YouTube as an example of something currently. Now, I've always been intuitive, had dreams, and all those things we associate with psychics and tarot and the unknown. Always known that, just didn't know to what degree, and I never had any outside validation, you know, just my own validation. And so sometimes that wasn't enough for me. I know other people can resonate with that, but you know, we all have most of us have self-esteem issues in some way, shape, or form, or have had them for one reason or another. Now, so I finally decided to get into tarot. I never knew people were doing tarot online. I happened to find it and I was looking for answers for a few years back. And I was like, wow, people are doing this online. Wow, this is super awesome. And it totally resonated with me. And so I was going back and forth in myself, like, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't want to jump on the train and da da da. And then, you know, of course, that's a shadow part of me wanting to contain myself and, you know, in fear of being like other people, because that is like one of my, I guess I'll call it a fear for lack of a better word. Um, I desire to be different, and that alone in itself may be a shadow. But you know, we all still a work in progress. Every day is a learning lesson. So, anyway, I start this tarot thing, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to use the cards to get confident in my gift because I know it's there, but I need outside validation. So I'm gonna go online, and that's not the only thing. I also wanted to assist people in ascending. If you look at my About Me page, it's about helping other folks tap into their own intuition so that they don't need to necessarily come to a reader. You know, sometimes we need outside help, and of course, we'll go somewhere just to for them to tell us what we already know, right? Sometimes we may not know. Some things we may need some insight on, okay? But my purpose, my point of my channel was to get confidence in my own gift and by way give advice and messages, and by me doing it as well, showing other folks that they can too tap into their higher self and know what they need to know at all times about any given thing, okay? With or without cards, okay? So I'm excited, all right, and things go well. Well, but let's go back a little bit because before I've come in contact with you guys to watch my channel, before I started regularly making videos, I started, you know, a few years ago, and I wasn't getting the response I wanted. Again, outside validation, and things were moving slow. So I just put that aside for a minute. And for fast forward, I come and kind of slow, but everybody wanted questions. I decided to answer questions, and that went well. So that was validation. It was give and take here. I was learning what I could do and what I couldn't do or whatever, and what, you know, just growing my gift. So that was really awesome. And of course, my another reason, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it and act like I don't need anything and I'm already good. And no, no. Another reason I did it was hopefully to get enough subscribers and whatever qualifications to get monetized. This is my business. This is what I want to do, to help people. And yeah, just because you do spiritual work don't mean you're supposed to be poor. That's a sad misconception. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I completely do it out the kindness of my heart. Nah, nah. Even less now. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm somebody that I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not going to act like the world isn't about exchange, okay? And outside of money, we all use each other every day for one reason or another. Now, when you give too much and somebody takes too much, then that's a different thing. But the world is about exchange. What anybody look like doing anything for, I don't know anything that anybody's done for somebody and not expect something in exchange, even if it's just a thank you. You know, even if it's just an acknowledgement or an outside validation that, oh, I'm a good person, you know? But so I haven't been feeling like I've been getting the recognition that I deserve. And I'm like, well, damn, you know, trying to stay aware as possible, but also being human, you know, aware of, you know, no projecting here on people outside of you. This is a you thing, okay? If you're not getting the subscribers that you want or getting to, you know, the requirements as quickly as you want to and not being patient enough, that's not really anybody else's fault. Or you know what I mean? It's not as if anything is really wrong here. It's not as if people need to like you, or, you know, they're not obligated to like or subscribe or whatever. You know what I mean? So trying to be aware of that, but also being human and like, well, damn, am I not a good enough reader? Or, well, damn, what type of content do I need to make? You know, if you're a part of this channel, you see me make a lot of different changes and implement a lot of other different things just to kind of see what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, after I start answering people's questions and people felt like they wanted free readings, like, oh, let's go get free readings over here. And you know, and that again is not a them problem, that's a me problem. That's what I set up here. Whether that was my intentions for it to go on as long as it did, or whatever the case is, that's a me thing. I put that in play. And so I complained a couple times over here. Very short-lived, quick things, but yeah, I did. I complained a couple times about how I felt about people subscribing and unsubscribing after they were not going to get their reading, a free reading at the moment that they wanted a free reading. Now that part is a them problem, and how I felt about it is a me problem. It's not about, you know, blaming other people. One of the very first rules that we learn in this spiritual game, if you're really in it and not just here for tarot, is that you can't control anybody but you. And this is a individual journey. This is only about you and your self-growth. And we learn about projection. We learn about area behavior cognition. These are the traits and beliefs and everything that you adapt to and become based off of your neighborhood and where you grow up and the people you grow up around, the religion that you're fed and all of that. So, you know, I have videos on that. Take a look at it if you're interested. But we know that this is a you thing. Yes, we all are one and we all have similar stories and all of that. We're connected, sure. But the work, in order to become the one, is a work that you have to do for yourself. And it's not about finding fault in other people or anything like that. It's about you deciding how you're going to react to these things that you are encountering, okay? Whether they just be perception or it be fact or whatever. It's about how you handle and how you react to the situation, and about, you know, what changes you will make for yourself and what boundaries you will put up. Okay. So I try to keep all that in mind. But again, like I said, I'm still human. So sometimes my feelings get hurt and I don't quite understand. But again, it's all a part of my purpose and lesson of not looking for outside validation and being patient and letting things come to me and not trying to force them. And so the better I feel about myself and the less I need outside validation, the better things will manifest for me the way that I want them to, at least, you know. Now, I'm not taking away from anything that I've gotten or the strides that I've made. I'm extremely proud of myself. I haven't given up. Woohoo! Um, I've gotten a lot of personal private clients, and I am making some funds off of here. Nowhere near to what I would like to, my personal goal as a businesswoman, but I am I'm grateful as fuck. I'm grateful for the subscribers that stick with me and really do like the way I read and the content I put out and support me. I am extremely grateful. I met some um, good acquaintances and people that could possibly be friends one day. I feel like I met some of my tribe members and everything. So I'm extremely grateful for the things I have accomplished and I've learned to put forth as I continue to grow. But yeah, so I've, felt a little way about, being stagnant in my numbers. So I've tried multiple different things. I did the free questions, and then I started implementing paid questions. And it was a little annoying, honestly. I'm speaking my truth, and this is no dig to anybody. I'm just being honest with myself because I feel like this is one of the things I need to do. But yeah, people come constantly trying to get on the free list, and when they don't, or I've changed my rules, then they unsubscribe, and that's fine. I want people here that want to be here, and that's here for the right reasons, because my intentions was never to just sit here and answer questions. I want to do more than that. I want to help people change their mindset and help them reprogram themselves to see themselves better and manifest a good life and to raise your vibrations. My message is constantly from source is about raising vibrations and tapping into yourself. And I try to reiterate that as much as possible. That's like the message I'm always getting. The magician is a very important part of this channel over here because it is you. You're the magician. Like, you guys don't understand how powerful you are. And I try to remind myself every day of the power that I hold so that I can hold myself accountable and I can get to where I want to be. But, you know, again, I'm human. I see other people and, um, you know, surpassing. And it's not a contest, it's not competition. And I have to remind myself that. And I'm not jealous. I'm actually really proud and happy when people, um, get all their numbers that they need and get a huge following and, they get their manifestation. I'm really excited for them. It's nothing like that. Um, and I always catch myself and I'm like, well, why not me? But it's all good though. Um, in divine timing. It could be not happening to me, but for me. Um, and I have no doubt that I will get to where I want to be. Absolutely. But yeah, we all have those moments. I'm just using myself as an example and hoping to resonate with you guys and show you guys how I kind of do my shadow work, so to speak, how I have my conversations with myself. This is how I talk to myself when I feel my energy shifting. And I don't dwell too much on it. I just vent it out, talk it out, and then I decide about how I'm going to go about getting myself out of that energy, or I'll just, get my trigger word that raises my vibration, or whatever I'm going to do. Listen to my music and focus on something positive, essentially. But my point is not to look for things and people to blame, but to focus on what you could do differently and how you could react differently and what this lesson is for you. Okay. Now, something I did want to address as well. Like I said, I was listening to tarot readings and everything, and it was making me feel bad, y'all. Um, I think that tarot readings are really good, and it's up to the viewer. They're a good tool to assist, but it's up to the watcher, the viewer, to not overload yourself in too many different messages and not to take on stories that are not yours and not to allow fear in. So I try personally to refrain from using clickbait titles of what people want to hear. This is not about always what you want to hear. If you want a personal private reading, you can talk about whatever you want to, but my goal is to point the finger back at you in not a negative way at all, but just so we all could be aware. We need to be aware, y'all, of our triggers and who we really are. And so we have to, in my opinion, I'm not telling nobody what to do. Again, I'm using myself as an example. So what I tend to do is, try to look at myself and what am I missing here? And so I was looking at readings because I wasn't quite understanding, and it's still hard for me to read myself, or it's just my self-doubt, that creeps in sometimes that I'm still working on. It be the same message that other people get when I go and look. It's just my confidence I have to work on still. So some of these readings put me in a tailspin of whoa. Some of these titles were so heavy and they could definitely resonate with other people, but I just, I can't get with those titles of warning, and and most of them don't even be nothing negative. It's just a trigger. Like, I don't understand why people do that. But it could just, again, I feel like it's could be partly true or wholly true, depending on who you are and perception. It could be my perception that that's negative or scary. It may not really be that, it just may me just feeling that way either way. I mean, warning is a trigger word. I mean, there's no denying that, but I take responsibility too, for how I'm feeling and thinking. But I really do wish that outside of myself that people would stop with the clickbait titles with these warnings and I must warn you and trigger and watch out for this person, all of that. Like, it's just constant everywhere. But again, my negative energy that I was in, that heavy energy, that's the videos that I was attracted to when I searched, I suppose. I was just typing in my zodiac. But yeah, it's a lot of heavy energy. So be careful who y'all watching and be careful I not to watch too many general readings. I would urge you to find the reader that you most resonate with, that you most believe in and trust to give a private, personal reading sometimes so you can get some clarity here. And also be sure not to force things that don't fit. If it's not your story, it's not your story. And again, this is not towards readers or viewers. This is me, again, using myself as an example. If you happen to resonate with that, then great. I hope you got something out of that. This is just, what I'm seeing here and how I'm feeling about it. And yeah, that's just what it is. But I feel like it's very important to bring the attention back to yourself. But, well, not a but. And I will say this, that some of you all, yes, this is, I'm trying to limit it to this little judgment, if you will, to this. You guys have to stop being so surface. Y'all have to stop being so surface, please, with everything that's going on. And I know people been saying, The world is ending since before our parents was born, and it's not a literal thing. Maybe one day it will be a literal thing, but it's just the world as we know it. So if you pay attention to some of those eras, 99 or whenever, the big times, big time frames when people were saying the world is ending, the world changed quite big. If we went back and looked, we would see that the world, that it shifted and changed in a big way, in some big way, whether it was some currency change, whether it was some global change. It was a change. The world changed. It's all called rebirth. Things end and they begin again. So maybe one day it'll be literal. I don't know. But the world does end and it begins again, okay? And with everything that's going on, this is a very important time to be in. And so it's important to get a little bit more into your spirituality, whatever you believe in, just a little bit, or just tap into yourself more here. Because we can't just always be focused on these distractions of celebrities and stuff. I have so many views on my celebrities readings, and when I do my live question and answers, those get quite a bit of views. What they used to when I was doing a lot of free readings, but I put boundaries up and that stopped. Or it slowed down, but I still get a lot of views. I'm grateful, whatever. Changes have to happen. But these celebrity views, I mean, it's like I have to sell my soul, so to speak, or do thing, to get some attention. And again, it's a self thing, but it's so weird that this, it's allegedly the row going on out here. The foo-foo, the pokey, whatever you want to call it. Now it done pretty much done disappeared, right? We got this alleged war going on. And everybody is seeing a lot of things for what they are. And even though y'all seeing this weird, spooky shit going on, y'all just very content in not really paying attention to it or anything. It's, and I understand some people are bots, not the people that's watching this. Y'all not bots, right? But y'all know some bots, y'all seen them. And it's a little concerning. And I had to remind myself that the people that are supposed to hear my messages will hear my messages, and that's just what it is. I can control nobody but me. I just lost my train of thought. 1 second, y'all. But yeah, so I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say, y'all. But anyway, we just have to be better at holding ourselves accountable and getting a little bit more serious about your own personal development and growth and ascension, because yeah, it's important. I know we say this all the time, the world's ending, and I'm not saying it's ending. I'm just saying this is important. It is very important. And I put out my world readings and other stuff, and nobody, well, not nobody, but a lot of people not paying attention. And I don't really take that personal, that part of it. I don't really care. Like, if you watch it, you watch it, you don't. But not for my well-being, but for yours. Like, it's things going on, that things I've said was going to happen and they're happening. Like, aren't you concerned that allegedly the leaders of the world are faking big things like wars, allegedly? Aren't you concerned that they are lying about everything? I mean, if not a lot of things that I've seen they've been lying about, I know y'all caught them in at least one lie over the last 2 years since 2020 clear vision done came in. I know y'all seeing some stuff. some weird, crazy stuff going on, some weird, crazy things being said, but yet you're not concerned. I'm not saying be fearful at all, ever. Don't be afraid, never. But you don't want to be aware of what's going on. And that awareness kind of hits a domino effect of you wanting to like understand why they would be doing this and how important you are. How important you are. But I try to give the tools that I'm told to be given about manifestation and about power, your personal power here, because you're going to need it. I guarantee it. You're going to need to know how to take yourself mentally and emotionally out of a bad time. You're going to need to know how to shift your energy to escape certain situations. Just like now, like these little small situations that you're going through in your life where you're in a bad space and you need to switch that energy and focus on something else. That's important. It's important, y'all. It's important. That's why you've been practicing all your life, or whenever you get on your path to understanding how the law of attraction works, how you work mentally and emotionally and verbally. It's important. It is. I promise. I promise you it's important. That's why I talk about it so much. I'm not trying to be a broken record or a parrot. It's important as fuck. Okay? So you need to learn, and you need to continue to practice on shifting your thoughts and your feelings and your energy, specifically when you're in a bad show, okay? When your boss pissing you off, you need to learn how to instantly tap into a positive energy. You need to practice that when anybody's pissing you off. When you're feeling like you're not getting enough money, you need to change your frequency to the frequency of money, or abundance, or pure happiness and joy and bliss. You need to learn how to change your frequency, because your frequency is the rapture, allegedly. In my opinion, it's a frequency thing. Life is a frequency thing. The end of the world is a frequency thing. The rebirth of the world is a frequency thing. Abundance, health is a frequency thing. All of it. You need to practice, okay? You need to practice. You need to know who you are from A to Z, from the rooter to the tutor. Everything that make you mad, everything that make you happy. You need to know it. I promise you it's important. All right, I'm going to get up out y'all ear. I hope that my little rant and my little story and my little reflection has resonated for you. I appreciate you for listening, stopping by. Please do like and subscribe if you genuinely are interested in the channel. And I'll talk to y'all later.